Hey bros, hey gals, welcome to Simply Bitcoin, channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter to important updates to cringy fails. We have it all. Before we get started, drop us a like and don't forget to subscribe. Take it away, Phil.
All right, guys, let's start off with
Clock Money Dashboard.
all right. We are looking at a block height of 645,773. Bitcoin price 11,524. Chain rewrite days 552. Total lightning capacity. Oh, it's beautiful. 1,044.95 BTC.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, we're actually doing that. That's pretty good. A little bump up from yesterday. A little slight bump up from yesterday, but or yesterday were we at 1045? Maybe we're down one Bitcoin on it. I'm not sure, but it's still a beautiful number above 1K.
Man, it just keeps going higher, man. It was like a week or two ago, we were at like 975, and now it's at 1,044. And all those shit coins that are just like it's faster than Bitcoin, you guys are screwed now. Phil, I think it's time for the daily fail.
Here we go. Oh man. Okay, so our daily fail today is actually not Jimmy Nguyen, although he is a daily fail. We'll pick a different tweet for him for that. But it's actually Thomas Lee. Thomas Lee of Fundstrat. Fundstrat is our daily fail for having a talk and hosting essentially Jimmy Nguyen and a few others to talk about BSV.
Bro, what the heck? They were paid.
No, of course they're paid, but the key is this, right? This is what people don't understand. They say, okay, why are you being toxic? These people are just trying to do business and whatnot. What people don't understand is that by entertaining these people, you're giving validity to that scam. And that's the problem, because they get to sit there and they say, oh, it's like Bitcoin.
Exactly.
And then and it conjures up those same ideas, but it's not.
Exactly. I completely agree with you, Phil. 100%.
So it's just like it's just an affinity scam. That's the daily lesson.
So what's the daily lesson, Phil?
Well, that BSV is an affinity scam.
The daily lesson from Phil is that BSV is an infinity scam.
Affinity scam, not infinity.
Affinity scam. And this is why it's Phil's daily lesson and not Nico's daily lesson.
Put that on me. All right.
Okay. Phil, I think it's time for the Daily Meme Review. And the Daily Meme is by Bitcoin Meme Hub. Man, this guy is just so consistent.
Oh, man, nice.
So good. And dude, this is freaking hilarious, man. This is so funny. Spencer Schiff. Okay, I managed to create my private keys. And then he puts his mnemonic phrase right next to the ledger.
It's fantastic.
Dude, I feel like people actually do this, man. No joke. I feel like people actually do this. 100%. So, man, this is hilarious. Phil, what's your score?
We've been giving these out a lot lately, but I think it's deserving.
Perfect 10. Okay. I see that.
Definitely gets a perfect 10.
And with my imaginary sign, because I'm traveling, perfect 10 as well. Good job, Bitcoin Meme Hub, man. Killing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And guys, I think it's time for the Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right.
Guys, this is very, very sad. Today, 6 years ago, Hal Finney passed away from ALS. For anyone that doesn't know what ALS means, it's a terrible disease, and basically your body wastes away, and you lose physical mobility. So it usually starts in a limb or a leg, and slowly but surely it paralyzes that limb and it starts spreading out through the entire body. This whole process takes about 5 years, and there's no cure. And eventually you die because your body loses its ability to breathe by its own self. So it's a terrible disease. And for anyone who doesn't know, Hal is a legend. He is actually the second person to run Bitcoin. for the first time
and receive the first Bitcoin transaction.
And receive the first Bitcoin transaction. So, rest in peace, Hal. You're definitely a legend, and this guy contributed so much to Bitcoin, and we had to mention him for today. If you guys want to, help ALS, please go to als.org. Actually, my grandmother's brother actually passed away from this horrible disease, so I got to see in person what it does, how devastating it is to the human body. And you guys could find out, more about it here, and please, man, donate, because as soon as we find a cure, we're going to save tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. So, it's a little sad, the news for today, but we have to say it for Hal, because he is a living legend in the Bitcoin community. So rest in peace, Hal. Next piece of news that we got for today, guys, is Fidelity Investments, man. More traditional finance getting into Bitcoin, which is really exciting.
2.8 trillion.
2.8 trillion asset manager Fidelity looks to double down on Bitcoin with new funds.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
how much are they actually plunking in? Because
it doesn't say, and I have a pretty good idea because why they don't want to say it. So you remember MicroStrategy, right? So just to kind of show you guys the latest images before I stop sharing the screen. 2.8 trillion asset manager Fidelity is looking to have another Bitcoin product, right? So why is this important, and why didn't they mention the amount, right? So when such a big player gets into Bitcoin, they don't go to an exchange and buy Bitcoin, right, on the market. What they do is that they go to an over-the-counter desk, right? Like Kraken has an amazing one. Shout out to the guy there, Robert Frost. Amazing. And you deal with these people directly, right? So you say, I want 10,000 Bitcoin, and Kraken's like, we got you. They usually charge you about 2 to 5% premium, right? So you're paying 2 to 5% more expensive, but it's because it's such a large amount of Bitcoin, and you do the transaction directly over the counter. And the reason that they do that is because it won't pump the price, right? They're getting a solid set in stone price. They're paying that 2 to 5% premium, and then Kraken does everything for you, right? So yeah, what were you saying, Phil?
Is there a Bitcoin only place that does it? Because Kraken also Bitcoining, and I mean, don't get me wrong, we're simply Bitcoin. So even though Kraken does that for Bitcoin, they're still shit coining. So
they are.
Is there a Bitcoin only house we can recommend or that we know of that does this?
so there is. I would say the one company.
I know nothing about the large orders. So
yes. So
I'm not going to pretend.
In terms of OTC, there's really 3 players on the block. Kraken is the majority, and it has the most established. There's also Gemini, which does some shit coining as well. And there's River Financial, which is Bitcoin only, and they do OTC. However, in terms of the quantity, they aren't able to get you as much as Kraken. Kraken has really been developing that OTC desk for a very long time. And Phil, just to add to that, their OTC desk, 90% of those transactions are Bitcoin. They don't do shitcoin over the counter transactions. They only do Bitcoin.
I don't see anybody wanting to buy that.
Exactly. So, and then there's another method, right, which is actually very popular, but it's a lot more shady. And I've actually done it a couple of times. And basically, one of the best ways to get newly, freshly minted Bitcoin is buy them directly from big miners. And I've actually done one myself. And the awesome part about this is that you're actually getting a small discount. You're getting it cheaper than the market rate, but you have to buy a big amount. And it's awesome because they're newly minted Bitcoin. They're fresh, clean. They haven't been used. It's an interesting experience. However, I must warn you, it's sketchy as hell because mostly you're dealing with people in China, right? So it was an interesting experience. So Going back to Fidelity, they don't want to mention that in the news article because that will affect the price, right?
Yeah.
They will only mention that once they already acquired it, just like MicroStrategy did a couple weeks earlier, right? You're just going to see this news that 50,000 Bitcoin acquired by Fidelity. Now they have a new product, right? But it's super bullish, guys, because this is more of what we've been saying, guys. This is that now Bitcoin is being seen by Snap IHQ, that internet company from Canada, and MicroStrategy, a publicly traded company whose 50% of it is owned by huge VC funds like Vanguard. Man, Bitcoin is just, it's being more and more seen, you know, how Plan B likes to call it, this phase 5, it's being much seen as a reserve asset, just like gold. So this is uber bullish, this news. And guys, to kind of summarize the show, I kind of want to talk a little bit about BitBlockBoom right here. And Phil, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, man, I definitely got some questions for you. So first off, how's the vibe?
Man, the vibe is awesome. Everyone who you talk with on Twitter is here in real life. Okay, so it's awesome, man, and you get drunk with them, and it's a good freaking time, and it's so worth it to come because it's like you've never seen these people physically, but they're just your fucking friends because you've been talking to them for so long. So that part's it's been so much fun. It's been a blast.
And how is so like what kind of like I mean like what kind of topics are they discussing? Like what's on the menu, so to speak?
It's so cool because it's what all Bitcoiners want. You know, it's about self-sovereignty, self-sustainability, you know, how to secure your keys properly. For example, Unchained Capital was sponsoring the one of the first events. So, you know, and you get to meet the people that work there, you know. So Phil Geiger, the guy that I did some of these videos, I saw him, he was there, and I'm like, yo, Phil, and he was like, oh shit, oh snap, it's Nico, you know, what's up? So it's such a crazy. Tone Vase was just walking around, and then you got to talk to him. You know, it's just all Bitcoiners, OGs, no shitcoiners, bro. It's all freaking Bitcoiners, man, and they all think like you know. So it's like the perfect place. And I was joking around yesterday. If a nuclear bomb hit, you know, Dallas right now, Bitcoin Twitter would be dead. It'd be gone. Nobody left. So man, it's just, guys, BitBlockBoom, you guys have to come. You guys have to come to this.
So who wasn't there?
Who wasn't there?
That you would have wanted to meet someone.
So Bitcoin, you know, so Harunaut, the space cat, was not there. My buddy, my good friend, my big brother, Coin Icarus, wasn't there. And Bitcoin MD wasn't there. And Mr. Hodl wasn't there. So yeah, some OGs, you know, would carry on Twitter after this atomic bomb. But, you know, I would say around 60% of Bitcoin Twitter's here. So it's
very cool.
Pretty cool. It's pretty
Wish
cool.
I was there with you. Hopefully next year.
Next year, I'm dragging you. I'm going to show up at your house, kidnap you, and knock you out. You're going to wake up in a hotel room, and I'm going to be sitting on the chair and looking at you and say, hey, Phil. And you'd be like, what the fuck's going on? And say, you're a BitBlockBoom, bro. Get ready. So yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. You guys should definitely come check it out next year. It's super worth it.
All right, guys. So look, the end of our show. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tune in tomorrow if you want simply Bitcoin and no shitcoins.